Could Yuta Okkotsu summon Mahoraga? Let's talk about it. Alrighty, y'all. I don't know what's going on, but I've been getting this question a lot recently. So first off, shout out to Raven, Isaiah, and Capital, and let's get into it. And this is going to be anime friendly, by the way. So could Yuta Okkotsu copy the Ten Shadows? And in my opinion, yes. Like, I don't see anything that would prevent that from happening. Now, there is some question still for exactly how Okkotsu copies techniques, but we really don't need to get into that for this video. So, assuming he meets whatever conditions those are, he should be able to do the Ten Shadows. He should be able to copy it. Now, where it gets interesting is what happens then, given, the nuance around how Ten Shadows works. How you have to do the summoning ritual, subjugate it, and then you have command over it, right? So if he copied Ten Shadows, summoned Mahoraga, tamed him, could he then use Mahoraga forever, as long as he then copied Ten Shadows again, or would he have to retame him every time he recopied it? I don't have those answers for you, but from what we know, he should be able to copy the Ten Shadows. Now, it's probably not something we'll see in the manga, just because of that weirdness, but, I think it should be theoretically possible. And then specifically to answer this variant of the question on could he copy Mahoraga's adaptation, I don't know, just because I don't know if Mahoraga's adaptation is a curse technique. If it was a curse technique, and again, Okkotsu met the conditions for copying, then technically, but for my money, I don't think what Mahoraga does is a curse technique. I think it's more of just a part of how Mahoraga works. And next up, while we're on the subject, I have this question from Shay on what if Yuta Okkotsu were to go up against Mahoraga? The hypothetical scenario where Megumi is on the verge of death, summoning Mahoraga, basically just like he did in Shibuya. Could Rika and Yuta defeat Mahoraga? So here's what I'll say. I think so, especially depending on which version of Yuta Okkotsu we're talking about. Like, when in the manga does this happen? So I think if it is Shibuya, like let's just replace Yuta with Haruta in the events of the Shibuya incident, could he defeat Mahoraga? I think it's possible that he could, but it would be much harder, and I think Mahoraga would probably win unless Okkotsu goes into that fight knowing exactly how Mahoraga works, and basically that he has to destroy him in one hit or else he'll adapt. So if he knows that going in, I think Shibuya Okkotsu could maybe get it done. It would be really hard, but I think he's got the multitude of weapons in his arsenal to be able to throw different things at Mahoraga to take him out. But if he doesn't know how that fight works, I think it's gonna take him too long to figure out, and Mahoraga's gonna have adapted to too many things at that point. And again, this is a spoiler-free video, but if we're taking Okkotsu later in the manga, then I definitely think Okkotsu can wipe Mahoraga with Rika and everything he's got in his arsenal. Next up on the Mahoraga train, we have this question from Isaiah on can Megumi still summon Mahoraga after Shibuya? And yes, he can. So the way that this works is with the Ten Shadows, you must first ritualistically summon a Shikigami and defeat it in one-on-one combat before you can command it, before it becomes part of your arsenal. So Megumi hasn't done that with Mahoraga, right? That's why in Shibuya, he uses it as a trump card because he's like, I'm going to get taken out anyway. I might as well summon Mahoraga even though he's going to take me out, but he'll also take out Haruta, right? So the fact that Mahoraga is then destroyed by Sukuna doesn't mean it's gone forever because Megumi didn't command it yet. If Megumi did already have control of Mahoraga and Sukuna killed it, then it would be gone forever. But because Megumi hasn't tamed it yet, he can ritualistically summon Mahoraga as many times as he needs to. So even after the events of Shibuya, Megumi could once again summon Mahoraga to try and tame him. And finally today we have this question from Shaus, and it doesn't have anything to do with Mahoraga, but it is anime friendly, so I wanted to include it. And he wants to know the difference between the rot technique and blood manipulation. So these are very, very similar. This is the rot technique from the Cursed Womb Death painting in season 1, and then Choso has normal blood manipulation, where, he's out there looking like an FPS shooting the blood. So the main difference is in just how they can utilize the blood. The rot technique is called that because it's poisonous and you can activate it in your opponents, which is when, Nobara and Yuji get all those tattoos on their faces. So it's just kind of a different flavor of blood manipulation, if you will. And presumably of the 9 Cursed Womb Death paintings, some of them may have had even other variations. So at the end of the day, they're very, very similar, just slightly different.